Good morning and welcome, Charles Beatman, Chief Executive Officer, Executive Personnel, and distinguished guests. My name is Katrina Puranik, and I am the CIO here at Rowe Incorporated. As you know, we do our best to ensure our clients are continually offered quality services and reassurance that they are covered in any situation that may arise. We are there when they need us the most. But why are we here today? We need to be assured that we can continue to provide quality services. Our resources have been nearing capacity. Our technological infrastructure is being stretched to its limits. We are here today to discuss the possibility of implementing an innovative strategy where the sky is the limit: cloud technology. We are based in Brisbane, servicing cities nationwide with 120 employees, and our current resources in-house are being exhausted. It's too costly to be sustainable for the future. It's affecting day-to-day business, draining our revenue and our reputation. Cloud technology will eliminate these issues and allow for infinite expansion on demand without affecting day-to-day operations. So what is cloud technology? It can be a variety of resources that can be accessed from a number of devices to provide IT infrastructure, applications, and a hub for business activities and access to data at high speeds. The cloud service providers offer a range of utilities to meet a variety of needs. I propose that we implement each of these to maximize our goals, particularly data as a service. Big data, which is access to consumers' digital footprints to allow us to redesign our market strategy and increase our standing in the industry. There are three ways which we can achieve this: by the private cloud, accessing our data and applications stored on the cloud while maintaining in-house control; the managed cloud, turning over all control to the cloud service provider to eliminate any issues that may arise with management due to lack of experience, or a combination of both, the hybrid cloud. Let's take a look at other companies' experiences with the cloud. Positive experiences have included improved scalability of resources, so on-demand resources for storage and network hubs, quick setup, 24/7 support and management, so eliminates the need for in-house support, enhanced security and privacy features, so just so long as they have strong service level agreements and appropriate security controls, increased successful collaboration with multiple applications and other organizations through the cloud, availability of on-demand redundant cloud databases should they be needed, better organization efficiency and regulatory compliance, the availability of multiple CSPs so you can compare and make an appropriate choice for the needs of the organization. Some challenging experiences have been maintaining privacy, confidentiality of corporate data, but by utilizing strong encryption and procedures to eliminate this, it has improved over time. Loss of control within the IT functions, so the managing multiple platforms and devices is turned over to the CSP, can eliminate this as a challenge because most of those failures happened in-house, and this becomes less of an issue over time as scalability and availability of data and reliability of CSPs were more heavily relied on. Lack of organizational control over services or data has been an issue, and in the past, legal ramifications, which obviously referring to government regulations compliance during audits, has had organizations deploy service level agreements now with their chosen CSPs to develop that accountability for loss of data and system failures with penalties, strong penalties for these instances. There have been concerns in the past over cloud vendor lock-in. So to combat this, organizations have viewed data portability as a primary factor when choosing their cloud service providers. Some advantages and disadvantages have been outlined with the SWOT analysis. So if you look at table 1 of your handout, you'll see. Okay, so let's have a look at some strengths first. We've got saving money, immense amounts of money on IT infrastructure. There'll be reliability for processors having that 24/7 access, no interruptions to processors when performing maintenance or upgrades. You'll have mobile access to IT resources and applications and networks, not only inside the business but outside, going to meetings at home, etc., and maintaining those strong connections with customers, colleagues, and across management as well. Now, some of the weaknesses have been the fact that we will have no previous experience of cloud integration. There will be a need to rewrite policies and procedural documentations for utilizing technologies within Row Incorporated, especially considering the SLAs that we'll need. There will need to be strong support of top-level management, so that's you guys, and your dedicated involvement for the implementation to be successful. There'll be a need for training of staff, there's a strong need for them to be knowledgeable in the policies and the procedures in regards to security and daily operation on use of the cloud. The opportunities, though, are infinite, particularly drawing back to that whole idea of big data and expanding our markets. So multi-channel marketing automation for publishing and promoting content that will help us redesign our market strategies using algorithms, etc. Content management tools, so they can be deployed across these different channels, as well as social media tools and analytical platforms to analyze those digital footprints and develop our market strategies for success. Now, some of the threats that exist would be maintaining privacy and confidentiality of corporate data, loss of control over the multiple platform management, maintaining reliability of key systems and availability of services of data, lack of organizational control because it's with the CSP, the legal ramifications to do with compliance, and the concerns over cloud vendor lock-in. As I said before, most of these issues can be eliminated by turning over control to the CSP, the cloud service provider, and allowing them to have accountability. So to what extent will we implement the cloud here at Row? First, let's look at the strategies for implementation. 1, what is our main goal? Our mission is to provide quality services and assurance to clients 24/7. We can do this by building a rapport through reliability, communication, and access to services, responding quickly to the clients, establishing and maintaining ongoing connectivity between staff, customers, and management is really important. And mobility of resources will lead to efficiency for business operations on a day-to-day basis. Implementing this innovative technology will ensure that we have differentiation, giving ourselves a competitive advantage over, which is illustrated by Porter, which is going to get us success, increase our market share. Strategy implementation. How are we going to do this? We need to have your approval from top management. We will need to establish a business unit to establish policy documents and support the integration process. As I said before, turning over complete control of data networks and maintenance to the CSP to limit issues of reliability during the transition to the cloud. Evaluation and control. To ensure that these technologies are sustainable, we need to make sure we've got foolproof policy documentations and service level agreements. Implementation of these technologies will require training and technical support and ongoing analysis and reviews and upgrades when needed. Let's look at the numbers. What is it going to cost to implement the cloud, and what will the benefits be? In order to assume these costs, I had to research and glide over some reviews and determine which CSP was best for Roe. And the one that stood out on top was a leading Australian CSP called Rackspace, which provided an extensive quote based on our needs. So 120 employees, 60 gigabyte servers, 4 gigabyte databases, bandwidths, backup files, backup block storage, monitoring, management, etc., to get the figures that we see here, as well as assuming the costs involved in policy writing and documentation based on the time that management would set aside. So I'm assuming about 2 weeks and 4 staff members approximately, with appropriate research on the costs of salary to implement those figures. The savings are huge. You've got no need for in-house IT support, no need for in-house IT resources and maintenance to the degree that exist at the moment. We can reduce those back to almost nothing if we turn over complete control to the CSP. Now, granted, we've got figures going into the negatives, and in the first year of operation, year 0, at minus 10 million, but look at the return on the investments, 915% over 6 years. We jumped from minus 10 million to 44 million in the first year, and that is gradually increasing as we go. Okay, if we're looking at the cumulative net present value, it maintains around the $40 million mark. Okay, now we've got an internal rate of return annually of 34.9% and a payback period which is immediately less than a year. It's negligible. So not only that, I've also made allowances for the increase in revenue that's directly impacted by the implementation of the cloud technology. So let's assume that each staff member on average makes about $5,000 a year, which would be what, $43 million increase if we assume an additional $1,000 a day per staff member, and the 43% financial annual growth rate on average equates to $45 million increase in revenue in the first year alone. And I haven't allowed for any additional growth in clients, except the fact that we may need more space with 5% increase in requirements annually when you look at the cloud fees and the needs of the resources for the company. So overall, the costs are negligible compared to the amount of money that we can make and save. Looking at the sensitivity analysis, it only reaffirms my original recommendations that the cloud should be implemented. The costs in the red go from year 0 to year 6 being very stable and consistent, with small increases obviously due to the increasing need of resources which are readily available, but the dramatic impact it will have on our revenue is incredible in the first year, and it just keeps sloping upwards over the 6-year period. So going from negative 10 in the first year straight up to around the 50 million mark and continuing up to 60 million on its way up. So I can only see us going uphill from here. Conclusions and recommendations. So with support from top-level management as yourselves, I advise with absolute certainty that cloud technology should be implemented here at Roe, with the establishment of a business unit to write the policies and guidelines, but ensuring that we need to fully embrace the cloud. The outcomes for the company have huge potential to increase our share of the market and a standing in global economy as a major player. But first we need to be accessed globally. This means expanding our playing grounds to the cloud. Any queries on my research or quotes or information that's been gathered for this project, please don't hesitate. Don't hesitate to ask any questions. Any questions at all? Thank you.